Welcome back to Hermitpack. It's been a while, hasn't it? Things have been getting in the way of me playing my favourite game, which is Minecraft, and I do love myself some modded Minecraft as well. I have been on a skiing trip, and then I've been ill since I've got back, had a bit of a cold. You can probably still hear it in my voice, actually. And I've been itching to play this game, but I've just been under the weather. Oh, it has been miserable, I tell you. No, don't worry about me, I've been fine. I have been on here playing, though. As you can see, there is this area over here around our mob farm, which works fantastically, by the way. Again, if you are playing this pack and early on in your world, make one of these things. It's like one block just changes the game, because you can farm so many mobs at once. That's fantastic, it really is. So I flattened the area around here because I had a wave of inspiration, and also took the time to go and chisel the other side of our ziggurat. And now that I look at it, I realise I missed an important job here. We have those painted glowstone blocks down the bottom here so that it's lit up, and I need to put those on this side so we can remove our illuminating orbs. But that's what I've done. I also put a little chisel border around here, which I think looks really cool. And we are not finished with that building. Everything here is organically expanding. And what we're going to do today is some building. I've been inspired. I had this vision of a water mill, and I started to work with these pillars coming up and having water inside of them. So it would kind of look like the water was flowing, you know, out of this area. And we could either have the water flowing out like this at the front, or one block, and I can't make up my mind. However, I like this one more, but it's very flat at the front, so I was thinking that chisel and bits might come in useful here. I'm going to make a mess if I do too much of this, because I don't have my bag with me. Okay, I fetched that, so the bits will go into here. I'm just thinking something like that, or maybe not as, you know, top to bottom, maybe like a little nook every couple of blocks. Could help break that up. I'll have to have a think on that, but this is the main part of my vision, and this comes from what we've got going on the side of our factory over here. And I want this area to have like a little lush bit in front of it. So this path is probably going to extend out in that direction. We can put down some bushes and greenery at the front here, and it'll probably be the only place in our base where there is greenery, but it makes so much sense to put it next to water. So the reason that I wanted to build a water mill is, for some reason, it just popped into my head, right? And I'm thinking at the moment, by the way, that that's probably too close to the path. We need a little bit more space. And also, I think that these are too close together. They're 3 blocks apart, and I've realised that this thing is probably going to be quite a big structure. And do I want it to be any taller is another thing. I think I do. I think we're going to make it like 1 block taller, maybe 2. But we'll build a couple of these pillars for now. And then I think we're going to have like 5 blocks in between them. Yep, that is the way to go. 5 blocks in between each one looks real good. This thing's going to extend even further in this direction, because I've had a little wave of inspiration again, another idea. So I was thinking, where does this water come from? And one of the things we first set out to do here was to make a slime farm, which we've ended up both making with that thing over there, and also with our void world that has one of these slime islands in. The original idea was to build the farm there, but I thought it would kind of look ugly. Just we've built this thing down on the ground, and then we've got this thing floating in the sky. None of it really makes sense. But what I thought we could do is take some of the liquid that's up the top here and have it fall out of this island in the sky and go down into the structure that we're building. So it would sort of tell a story that the water is being purified. Hello you, why have you not been teleported yet? There you go. And it would also mean we could do away with this cactus, because this stuff was farming the blue slime, and we no longer need that anymore. In fact, it's been a while since I checked up on it. Only a little bit in there, but that's fine. We're going to get rid of all of this, and our structure is going to come all the way across. So it'll be another one. Is it that height? Yep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then we have our little bit like that. And yeah, it probably looks like it's going to need another section across, and then that's where the water could come down. That is kind of crazy, you know. That's massive, isn't it? It's going to be a really big structure here. My original vision of it was taking over this space that I flattened out, sort of going around here, having a little bit that went around the back of our farm here, and then a staircase that led down to the front. I still think we'll build that. The staircase will be there, and we'll have another one over at this side. But as I've incorporated this idea now, this structure has become so much bigger. And I think an important thing to consider here is the variance in the landscape, because everything is really flat around here, and I think that's actually working against us a little bit now, because this is quite a flat line at the top from one pillar to the next. So I think we need to terraform it in a way where the sand comes down gradually, like perhaps this will even stretch over as far as that one before it goes down one more block. And then that way we get a little bit of variance. But my idea was to keep this area really flat, because deserts sometimes are flat. They do have big dunes in them as well. And also we want to be able to keep a lot of our buildings underneath the top of our ziggurat as well, which all of them still are. So if we were to start building on the top of a mountain, that would change. But I think when it comes to this side over here, perhaps we should embrace this height here a little bit. So when this wraps around in this direction, then it just stops on top of this land. So I am feeling good about this project today, man. The ideas are flowing. This path is going to go all the way down here, and then it's going to turn off to its left, and I think this building will be the first one that you can walk through. So I can't remember what its purpose was. I did put down little signs. This one is the passive mob farm, and then, oh, put this on your RS controller. We've done that already. I don't know who put that there or when they did it, but that's been taken care of. But thank you anyway. And then this path can go over in this side, and I think there should be an entrance down here as well, just so there's more stuff going on down here and it's getting broken up. But when it comes to this thing turning a corner, I think what we need to do is take this line and extend it outwards, and we're going to do the same thing at the other end as well. So as we start to build up more of what's down below, then that will start to make a little bit more sense, I think, because I was kind of tempted to perhaps dig out this bit right here and have it so that you can see like water flowing down this way as well and continuing the same structure design across this front, but I don't think it's going to work. And somewhere around here is where we're going to have our staircase. It's probably going to start right next to this, so let's place a few blocks and try and envision where it is. So now what we need to do is come up with a new build style on this side of the wall, and we haven't even finished that one yet, which is something I should probably get built a little bit further along. So this is going to come out to there, and I'm out of those blocks. So this thing will have a big platform, and do you know what, before I start talking about it too much, we should really get some more of this built. But there will be a platform up the top here, and I think it's going to be one block lower than this border edge here. And I'm thinking that this comes out quite a way, and it might be quite nice to actually not have this line continue from this point, but continue from over here. So then we'll have another line of the structure's walls coming out to around here. There'll be a little bit of gap around this thing, and then that's just going to go all the way around, and we'll end up building some sort of wall that you can see through the glass, which I think will be pretty cool. But we are getting carried away, man. There are going to be so many details to this build. I think what we should do is focus on the wall over there first of all. Well, my first attempt, a complete and utter failure. I had a dam in mind. I was thinking about how dams hold back water, and that they are generally, I think, further out at the bottom, and then they slowly lean backwards going up to the top. So I tried to incorporate that. It kind of looks ugly using brownstone. The Midori here feels out of place. The iron, though, I want it to give a little bit of an industrial vibe off here, because there's all sorts of water processing happening behind the walls here. So chucked in some iron, and then I decided to use stone, which I think looks a little bit better. I haven't tried it with this slope yet, which we will do. And over here I lowered down the height of the fans and the iron here. It sort of look okay, going in the right direction, but then I was thinking about this water stone block, because this is holding back water. So what if these blocks were a little bit watery, right? Turns out this trodden stone that we're using comes in the water stone variety, and that is just a little bit too much for me. But I am feeling like maybe the occasional one or two down the bottom would be good, especially if you had some leaf blocks or something in front of it. So we are going to go with a lush area down here, so maybe we'll be able to put in one or two of those. But I think the best thing to do is to try this now, what we've got here, with this slope. Oh man, that looks great. I love the water at the bottom. Oh yeah, that works. That really does work. I just want to try something quickly here. Let's rip out this iron block. Let's put that fan on top of it for a second. Hey, come back you. The server's been hiccuping a little bit. It's been absolutely fine for ages, and then it crashed on me, and now it's been a little bit laggy. I mean, it's what you can expect playing modded. That actually looks kind of better, but at the same time, I don't like the way the iron blocks cut off at the same point there. And there is no reason we can't put them in the middle, right? It's our rules. And that looks great. I think that's what we're going to go with. I like that quite a lot. I think it will look a lot better, though, once there is some greenery around the front, because we're injecting grey into our build palette, which we haven't done before, so we need some more familiar colours around it. Man, that is just looking fantastic. I'm so pleased with this build so far. Two things come to mind though. It's a flat wall, basically. I know we've added a bit of a slope into it. Maybe what I should have done is extended out some of these midsections a couple of blocks, but it's too late to rebuild it now. I'm happy with how that looks, and I think the next thing I want to focus on is what's going to be on the other side up the top here. And again, I kind of want to get away from the same colours that we've been using over and over again. And I was thinking that this red colour, or red brownish that we introduced over here, actually looked pretty cool. So maybe we can use that on the inside. And I think I want the floor, or the height of the floor, to be somewhere around here. And I think we might just get away with using that material as our floor for the entire area. But if it just covers like this giant space here at the same height, it's going to look very bland. So there needs to be some things in the middle to break it up. And we're going to start off with the water that's going to come down from the top. Now, how does that look? I think it matches. I think it fits. It definitely needs to consider what other things are going to be in the middle here, though. So let's go over in this direction and let's figure out where this thing is going to drop down from. So alignment is key. That's where I want the water to drop. Now, what does it align up with? It aligns with the middle of that side over there and also the middle of our staircase down the other end. So the water needs to come out from somewhere here, and I got a feeling we're going to do a little bit of transforming on the side to make sure it drops down in the right spot. So it's got to go in like that. The water's got to flow out. This is a different sort of water though. I keep calling it water. Technically it's not. It is congealed blue slime block. No, that's what I'm looking at. Doesn't tell me like what the liquid block is I'm looking at. Well, it's something to do with the Tinker's stuff, isn't it? So, right, we've got to dig a little channel for that stuff to flow through. Oh, there it goes. Man, this stuff is awkward. I also don't think I want it flowing out on that side, so let's just put a tab there for now. The water, or whatever you want to call this stuff, updates ever so slow. So as you're trying to build the tunnel there, sometimes it flows, sometimes it doesn't. Anyway, it's coming down from the sky, which I've got to say looks kind of ugly. And that thing should land directly in the middle, right? And the other one's going to be over to the side. Yep. So if we can stop the flow of that one, this thing falls perfectly down into the middle, which is just fine by me. Let's see what's going on up here. It is... oh dear, it's not removing itself. I think what I might have to do is just remove the entire pillar, wait for it to disappear, and then remove that block. Man, that is taking its sweet time to flow down to the bottom, I tell ya. Anyway, with that time, I've been filling in the path over here. I think it's going to look really good. We need to put in that Midori trim, and I noticed something. Look over here. Is that me forgetting to do this? Because I did it on that side, which seems kind of strange that I wouldn't have done it on that side. But anyway, in this area, we must remember to throw down details like this, which reminds me that I want to tidy up the dirt that we did. Your feedback was great, by the way. It doesn't really work at all, does it? And I think we just need to use it in places where it can be more abundant, like over there and probably in this region in front of the water as well. Another idea I wanted to try was cauldrons, but we'll throw a few of those down around here in a moment. What I've been working on is this structure right here, since I'm waiting for the water to flow down. So this is going to be roughly where the wall is, and we're going to be able to throw in some Midori here, and I think it's going to look pretty cool. But where we've got 3 pillars on that side, we're simply going to clone that over here, and so this is where our wall is going to wrap round, and then we're going to keep the same distance the whole way across. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks away from the glass. That kind of works. I was thinking we might get away from the sandstone here, but then I noticed some, well, sandstone bricks, right? And then I noticed some sandstone in my inventory, and I kind of like that design, although it feels like we need to have slabs across the bottom here now. Can we get away with these ones, or is that too many colours in one place? Of course it is. It's too many colours in one place, even though we're using it elsewhere in the build. In a rather strange way, I think that works, because you need the half slab at the bottom, so the distance in the middle here is good. But the fact that it's not Midori is alright. I don't want to use too much of that because it can be a little bit overbearing. I love the way that that looks. It's terrific. And then we can just copy that design for this bit over here. And it's basically going to wrap around and go all the way across here and back around that side. And we may have to adjust a couple of things because this has got like every 3 blocks apart. We're going to have Midori. So 1, 2, 3, 1 there. It might not line up with the end is the point that I'm sort of making. But we're getting distracted here. I was trying to work on the platform up the top. Looks like it might line up. And that thing has finished flowing down now. Excellent. Let's go up there and get it to flow down properly. And now it's flowing back down into position, and we'll get to that in a second because check out this area. It's coming together ever so well. I tell you what, I really do love placing leaves. I've talked about it before, how I feel like other people are really good at it, but I'm starting to get the hang of it now. You don't really need to do too much other than place a few down, take a step back, have a look, and you know, something will come to mind, something will make sense. And I just enjoy placing these now. We also need to throw some grass down in between. And I think this area looks good, but it's missing one thing, which is a little bit of colour. Now, I didn't want to put grass in here. However, I might change my mind. Well, the thing is, if we put grass in, it's going to be ugly desert grass and not nice and bright. So we need something bright in here to bring the lushness about. But a cool thing about placing down this grass is you can't put it on the chiseled dirt blocks. So it means when I go and place it out, they get spaced out nicely because I've chiseled lots of dirt here. So something lush needs to stick out of here, and I tried putting some jungle leaves on some jungle logs, and that just didn't do it for me, you know? Didn't do it at all. So if you've got any ideas, leave a comment down below. Something with a little bit of colour that could fit into this area would be just great. Alright, all finished up around the front here, although we do need to throw in a little bit of colour, maybe some red or something, like some berries or something that's alive. If you've got any suggestions, like I said, leave them in the comments down below. Slight problem, I didn't think about how this would look because it's actually going to be like, you know, one block at the top, half a block down. We need some lighting around the top area here, and I was thinking these blaze lamps fit quite well into our palette. They actually look really good there. And maybe what I could also do is chisel half the blocks off the top, and then there'd be like half slabs. And also I've been thinking we need something on the top here because they're kind of flat and bland, and I don't know, I was thinking like maybe a solar panel or something industrial looking, and we kind of want to work in a little bit of an industrial theme into this next bit because we're going to be processing the water or liquid, whatever that stuff is that comes from up above. And I think I want to go with these materials again, but I don't think they mix terribly well with sandstone, so I'm sort of wondering if I should use the sandstone bricks as an outline or just build some sort of thing which it goes into and gets converted into water out of those stone and iron blocks. And we're not going to do that because it looks kind of ridiculous from this side. So in between looking for blocks that are going to make sense in this area, I've just been opening up this bit down below. I think a fun part of this project, which I hadn't really thought about, was what it's going to be like from the inside. And I think we need to make the process of turning this into water very visual down here, which is what we're going to do. And so I've opened up this area, and we're probably going to continue this theme and keep it nice and open and develop around on the inside. I've also gone around the top here, thrown in some solar panels, which I don't think look bad, but I feel like they kind of made me realise that you don't have to put something in every little space that there is, right? And actually having some clean sandstone at the top here looks pretty cool. So tried those, but we're going to remove it. So something pretty cool just hit me, an idea, and that is that we need glass to make this work. We need glass to see that the liquid is contained inside of an environment. And we also need glowstone, actually. Let's grab some of that. So there's this stuff in Ender.io that's quite confusing. I think there's actually like 3 different types of glass here. And then there's also fused quartz that looks the same as this stuff. So I'm quite confused by all of it. Quite clear glass, enlightened clear glass, dark clear glass. I need to learn what each of these are. But the problem is, when you click on the recipes, they always seem to be the block you're trying to make with some sort of dye in the middle, right? And it took me a while clicking on stuff to notice that you can switch over to a different thing up here and it makes more sense. So black dye is for the darkened stuff, I think. I'm not sure actually what I just clicked on. Anyway, I can't remember how I got to it, but there's the enlightened one somewhere. So supposedly what we do is we mix glowstone with sand, and then it's going to make enlightened glass. Here we go. And I believe that this stuff is also going to emit light. Apparently I've also made some fused quartz, so I'm not sure what the difference between these two are. And our enlightened clear glass is going to be light blue, so it matches the water. Aha, it does emit light. That is extremely cool. Now, what does this enlightened fused quartz do? Because that's going to emit light. And it's kind of the same dealio, right? Like, there's not too much difference between those. Huh, and they expand the same way as well. Interesting. The glass doesn't look very industrial, but I like the fans. I think we're going to have to use something with a grid around here, and the water flow sort of looks a little bit odd as well. Maybe I should make it so that it goes over into the corner space as well. But anyway, I'm now thinking about the floor that's going to extend over to this, because we don't want it standing up like that, like a pillar. It looks kind of strange, and I've been thinking about different colours. So there is hardened stone slab, which kind of matches the stone that we got going on here pretty well, actually. That's a nice, like, complementing texture right there. That's really good. And then we've also got something a little bit darker, which is cyan hardened clay slabs. So this is the type that aren't smooth, and that has the same texture as this bit over here. So that would match, and those two go together okay. But the changing colour there is a little bit rigid compared to that, which looks okay. And then there's keeping the sandstone, which is probably going to be the easiest one because it's going to match the colour of everything else. And I don't know which one of these we're going to go with. So the sandstone is going to keep that consistency of theme, but this one looks so much better up against this. And what I've realised is that it being flat and bland like that is kind of boring, and that's the bad thing. So we need to throw some details into this, and I think what we're going to do is go with these two textures right here. So this could then wrap around like this as it's doing here, and then the sandstone can come along, and then we need something else in between the two of them to kind of break it up. Time has gotten away from me this one, and we need to wrap things up. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, it's a start for the detail at the top here at least. These need to have more relevance to what's going on. But there you go, this is our new project and we'll be working on it more in the future. I love how it started though. This area over here looks great. But that is going to be it from me this episode. If you want to leave some feedback, do so down below with a comment. I hope you're liking how the build is coming so far. And that's it from me, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.